Charles McPherson, a.k.a. Charles the Butler, is a world authority in household management, butlering, and etiquette. He travels the globe consulting with clients. And here's the book right here. It's called The Butler Speaks, and this is the last time we saw you here on our show. Charles, I'm going to get the glare off there. There we go. There, that's a good angle right there. And has done so well. So we're so happy to have you back, returning to our show here on Breakfast Television, with some tips that we can all use on improving communication to be more aware of what our body language has to say. So welcome. Good morning.
It's so great to be here. It's been a year since I was here.
Okay, well, I'm happy to meet you, and I'm being conscious of my body language. I won't cross my arms, I promise, during the interview. But I think that there are a lot of things when it comes to communication that people are tending to fall short. So what are your words of wisdom there?
And so it's really about, not only it's about your body language, but it's the person. So for example, I'm speaking to you right now, and I want you to know that I'm being very sincere, that I'm paying attention. So I'm actually looking at you in the eyes, and I'm actually facing towards you with my body as much as possible.
Right.
Because I want you to say, oh, he's actually paying attention to me and he's focused on me. Versus if I'm just kind of talking to you like this, and you know, it's really not making you feel like I'm engaged because my body is over here and I'm typing or something, whatever, you don't really think that I care about you.
Absolutely. And we must find that all the time as we're all absorbed in our own technology in our phones.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's part of, you know, etiquette is always changing. And so right now we're in a society where we're trying to figure out how do we deal with all this electronic communication? What is acceptable and what isn't in our society?
What is acceptable? A new world to navigate. Now, I think we all think that we're good listeners, but is that the truth?
No, actually, we're terrible listeners. In fact, we, you know, we talk, and then while we're listening, you know, while you're talking, I'm waiting to talk again, as opposed to listening to you.
Right, waiting to see what I want to say next instead of actually absorbing the information.
Exactly.
So how do you recommend people become better listeners?
So you know what? You need to actually pay attention to the person. You know, the brain, you know, processes at 500 words a minute, but we speak at 125 words a minute. So we need to actually slow down.
Okay, slow down, listen, and with that, there are body language cues as well. So what are some of the mistakes that people make?
So the body language is really, it's about always facing the person and looking them in the eye. For example, if we're going to shake hands, shaking hands, so you know, it's cup to cup, and it's a shake as if you were holding a water bottle, and it's 1, 2, 3, and then release. Okay. You know, you never do this.
No.
I mean, that's the wet fish. What do you do with that?
No.
You know, or you don't do the bone crusher where you're like, oh my God.
Okay.
So, you know, and so right away that says to someone that I'm engaged with you.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, cup to cup. I like that.
Exactly.
I like to add an extra hand sometimes if I'm...
You know what, that's called the political handshake, or the Bill Clinton handshake, and it's something you really shouldn't do.
Really? Uh-oh, I've been making that mistake. With nobody?
With nobody.
How come?
Well, because it's considered insincere. It's like, I've heard all about you, you're a great person, you know, and it's generally insincere.
Oh, okay, well, there we go. I stand corrected, the important handshake. Now, what about eye contact? That's important, especially in our culture.
It's very important. And so, you know, it says you were a linear communication, and so it's really about saying, I'm paying attention to you.
Okay, and breaking that eye contact, when is that appropriate?
It's, you know, when you have to be able to write something, but otherwise you really should always maintain eye contact.
Maintaining eye contact. Okay, and this is interesting because you've actually been hired to bring customer service to the next level with various corporations.
So, I mean, isn't it interesting to think of, so for example, Ford is taking me across the country this summer, and so Ford is trying to think outside of the box, thinking, let's use the skills of a butler. So we're not going to be serving tea in the stores, but it's about, let's use the skills of the butler like we're talking about today. How do we shake a customer's hand? How do we communicate to the customer? How do we hear what they're really saying so we understand why they're in the store? And so that's what I think is fascinating. So we have, you know, whether it's Ford or Veuve Clicquot or Louis Vuitton, we have now retailers that are starting to say, we need to change the way we're interacting with customers.
Right, bringing that to the next level.
Absolutely.
And then having that recurring
Exactly,
customer.
because, you know, the butler wants to instill confidence, wants to reassure you that I've understood who you are and make you feel comfortable. And that's the objective of Ford when you come into their stores now, is they want you to have a new customer experience.
Interesting. Well, we're so happy to have you. Please do come back. I know you're writing another book.
Such an honor to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I will adjust my handshake. Noted. I learned something new today. Thank you so much, Charles.